Good morning, everybody. My name is Adam DeJong. I have been putting up buildings, me and my crew, for roughly, I've been at it for 20 years. My other guys have been at it for quite a while. There's a few things you need to probably know about pulling tarps if you haven't done it before. Number one is these clamps. They're pretty much a necessity. These clamps are adjustable, fit pretty much any size of pipe, and get you out of a lot of binds. You don't have to cut into the tarp beforehand because it seems that they never line up with your straps later on. We also use these ropes that are tied to these clamps. They go up and over the building down to the pulleys. As you can see, if you follow the rope down over to the pulleys, and something you need to know is they need to be in line. If not, the clamps have a tendency of sliding when you get closer over to your pulleys, and which can also damage your tarp. Straight pulling is better if you have the room to do it. It puts less stress on the tarp. But if you can't, then pulleys are the way to go. And you need nice long ropes. You don't want a knot in the rope because they will catch you in the pulley. And that's another, that can also rip and tear your tarp. Try and keep your ropes all the same tension when you go to pull so your tarp pulls nice and even. The pipes here, we always keep these pipes, the main pipes that go over the building, out past the truss. This is a little extreme. We'll cut them off later. It makes it so these pipes don't catch inside the truss if your tarp does walk a bit. You want everything to flow nicely. The cables here, as soon as you unroll your tarp, undo them, get them laying out flat. They come in a ball all rolled up and they're taped. And we've had it one time that it will fall inside the truss and catch in one of the V's up on the truss and it will rip the tarp. A lot of times we put safeties on the bottom pipe if it's windy. Pulleys will also help you pull in the wind. It keeps your tarp down and taut. We have no wind today, so I'm not putting any safeties on. And safeties are just a matter of these same clamps on the bottom pipe. So when it does get taut, this side isn't flapping in the wind. And you can just go and tighten your ropes quick. Other than that, have yourself lots of spotters when you're pulling. In a few minutes here, we're gonna pull. I'll be in the machine. I have lots of men here to see if there's problems. All right, so we had a very successful pull there. When you are using ropes and pulleys, you'll only get so far with the pull until the rope knots and stuff will eventually hit your pulley. So you gotta stop so you don't go too far. So we have taken the ropes off now at this stage, and we put our gray straps on our clamps so we still have enough strap. And we're gonna finish pulling it over the rest of the way by hand here in the ratchets. It's much easier to get your tarp situated side to side and have the proper level now than it is after you go and put your PVC pipe and ratchets in. This is an angle snow brace, we call it, wind brace, whatever you may want to call it. We do not install these until after our tarp is installed and tightened. Reason being, there's sharp edges on it and they do sit up on the angle, and the peak one tends to want to catch on your, not the main tarp itself, but on where the PVC pipe goes in. So we install these after the fact. So again, we're gonna talk about the clamps. We find them so handy. A couple things we do, we cut some material, leftover material, and stick it in between just so the steel on the clamps doesn't grab the tarp specifically. It grabs this, and if you do have any sliding going on, it damages this instead of the good tarp. A lot of people end up cutting holes in the tarp for pulling their tarp if they don't have clamps. So you'd end up having a hole through here and a big slice, and a lot of people don't patch them in. I have great staff here that know how to weld, Rob especially. A lot of the guys don't cover the holes, and you get a customer that will say, why is there holes in my tarp? There shouldn't be holes in my tarp. That's part of the other reason we use the clamps, so we don't have to repair stuff after, hopefully. So the guys are just putting PVC pipe in right now. Typically we put the PVC in on the end that needs to go stretch the furthest one way or the other. Unless it's really windy, then we get it on the end that the wind is coming, the prevailing wind. We get everything centered before we do all this as much as possible. The finals, they'll do there now. As soon as you possibly can, secure your tarp. We've done that. We're lucky it's not windy. Keep it from flapping in the wind if it gets windy. We have some pipes to cut off in there after. Yeah, so that was a very successful pull this morning here, guys. Again, if you don't have to use pulleys, don't, but always have them on hand. You need to have them on hand. Other than that, very successful. In the next couple hours, we'll have that fastened down and terminated and finished. So all the success to you.